And we're back with the Santa Cruz Heckler. This is a bike that we've had for a few months now at the magazine. Scotty's been riding it an absolute ton. Now, one of the comments that we've had on quite a few of the other videos, which you can check out in our feed, is people want to know what size bike you ride and our reviewers' height and weight. So let's cover off on that. Doesn't look that big. It's got great standover. This is actually an XL, is that right, Scotty?
XL, yeah.
And then how tall are you and what do you weigh?
I'm 192 centimeters tall and I'm currently 88 kilos.
So pretty big. Now, interesting when we talk about the XL sizing, one of the things you've talked about or touched on a little bit when we've been chatting about the bike is that it's actually got size specific geometry. Tell us a bit about that.
Yeah, so as you may have checked out on the previous reviews, or you may have even had a look online for yourself in relation to Santa Cruz's range. So this bike comes in 5 sizes, from a small right up to a double XL. This is an XL. And with the small size having standalone 27.5 inch wheels, and the bigger sizes having either MX wheel options or, like this thing, 29 inch wheels as well. So, and with all of those bikes and all of those sizes, they do have a few changes in relation to like chainstay length, head angle, seat angle, and it does change the suspension kinematics between all the models. But the reason they do that is so someone who's 150 centimeters tall or someone 192 centimeters tall like myself, you're getting the same ride compliance and same ride quality throughout the whole range of bikes.
Super smart.
Yeah.
And it's something that really not a lot of brands do, but I think Santa Cruz don't only do it, they do it very, very well. It's something we see across their range. Well,
100%, mate. Like, I mean, they've put so much time into, how would you say, refining this Heckler. The previous Heckler they had sort of a few adverse comments in the sense that, you know, it wasn't as supple off the top as what this thing is. So for a brand who's going to, you know, commit to sort of making so many changes to, you know, improving the ride quality of this bike, it makes sense that they've sort of gone that extra mile and, you know, provided that ride quality to everyone who's going to consider buying one of those.
Interesting. Now, one of the things that you kind of been echoing throughout all the reviews and basically the whole time we've had this bike is that it's extremely versatile.
Yep.
What do you mean by that, mate?
Mate, in the name, so it's 160 mil of travel up front, 150 mil of travel. So based on those numbers alone, you can tell it's an all mountain bike. So the Heckler is akin to the Bronson in its lineup of naturally aspirated bikes. Yeah. Go anywhere, do everything on it, do enduro stuff on it, do some long trail rides on it, but you can really sort of hit the aggressive gnar on this very confidently. So that's probably the best way to sum it up in short. Take it anywhere, do anything, big days on the bike, short missions, but even punch it up and do some hot laps on your downhill trails, and this thing has got you covered.
So literally everything.
Yeah.
Mate, we've said a couple of times that you've had this bike for a couple of months. You've obviously done a lot of Ks. It's even got a new tyre since the last time I saw it. It was bald when we did the 41,000 after that ride.
Yep.
Seriously, a lot of Ks you racked up. What's the Heckler like to live with? What's it like to have as a daily driver, so to speak?
Funny you say that, and when we first got this bike for review, I was a bit skeptical in the sense it's like I sort of, you know, would have maybe liked to have got the Bullet, you know, which is their bigger, burlier travel bike.
Bit more travel, bit gnarly, or a bit more aggressive. So
when we got this, I was a bit like, oh, I wish we'd got the Bullet first to set up, because, you know, the local trails we ride are pretty crazy.
Oh, they're full-blown national downhill tracks, all of them.
Yeah, they're pretty.
Even the up trails are crazy.
Yeah, they're pretty full-on. Big jumps, you know, heaps of rock gardens, a lot of rock, very steep, a lot of chutes, booters. You know, pretty much anything you can throw at a bike durability-wise, and you really notice on our locals in particular. I mean, sure, we've done some trips in other places and we've rode this bike, but because we rode a lot on our locals, you really get a gauge on sort of how this bike handles in comparison to some of the longer travel e-bikes we've tested. But right from the onset, I was pretty blown away at actually how capable this bike is for what it is. I was like, wow, like, would I even go to the Bullet? You know, that's how cool this bike is. Light, really nimble, great at corner, good on the descents, and as we said before, versatile. Plenty of you know, adjustability in this bike as well.
One thing we haven't really touched on that Santa Cruz must have done pretty well, like obviously, look, not cheap mountain bikes by any stretch of imagination. Like, this is a premium, like, this is as good as an e-bike gets.
Yep.
And you've got incredible attention to detail in terms of the frame layout construction. But durability wise, this thing doesn't look like it's got a mark on it, and you've done hundreds and hundreds of kilometers.
Yeah.
How does it, like, you don't even have a frame skin or anything on it, but yeah, it holds up. I mean, it looks like it's pretty much brand new.
Well, that's one thing we probably should mention, the actual quality of the paint even that Santa Cruz. So it's not just the linkages, it's not just the suspension kinematics, it's not just the design, it's not just a good EP8 motor, you know, 720 watt battery, like the whole package, like the attention to detail these guys put into their bikes right down to their paint job. And that's why it's got no buff marks, like so durable paint job and that as well. So yes, they're a little bit more expensive than some of the other bikes on the market, but when you actually look at one of these in the flesh, you know where the dollar's going. They're awesome.
Well, it's an investment really, isn't it?
Correct.
Like, if it lasts you twice the amount of years, then it's half price.
Yeah, 100%.
I mean, that's why I picked something premium level like this. Now, Scotty, one of the things that you mentioned in our last review, the midterm check on this thing, was that it's a bike that you would happily spend your own money on, and that definitely speaks volumes. We get a lot of bikes here, we're very spoiled, and one of the side, I guess, effects of that is that we get quite picky, you know, don't know on our heart and soul, but yeah, this is a bike you really were amped on, and then when we rocked up here this afternoon to film this, your daughter said, "This is a bike that Daddy doesn't even want to give back," which I thought was hilarious. So tell us, has that changed since a month ago when we last sat down and chatted about this bike? Is it, you know, are you starting to find some nitpick it apart a bit more now, or is it just a bike you've continued to kind of build that love with?
Funny enough, my daughter is absolutely correct. I don't want to give it back. With this, obviously we get a bunch of test bikes and we ride them as we get them. Sure, we might change a few little things, like personally, like for example, I get a lot of test bikes, I'll change my grips. So I haven't changed.
Little spec bits.
Yeah, a few little things. And there's probably a couple of little things I might change with this. But for what this is, I would 110% buy one. I'd definitely have one of these in the quiver of bikes and shed. I'd be interested to see what the Bullet's like. I haven't ridden one of those just in comparison to the Heckler. But as far as e-bikes go, then this is probably right up there with the best e-bikes I've ridden of late. And if I was to go out and spend my own dollars on one, I wouldn't hesitate in buying Heckler for sure.
Well, there you have it. You're not going to get a more sincere review than that. Scotty spent a ton of time, like we said, on this bike, and he absolutely loves it. Guys, stay tuned for plenty more Santa Cruz content coming on our channel. We've got a couple of extra models lined up throughout the rest of this year. If you don't already, be sure to follow our channel, like this video. If you've got any comments you'd like to drop in below, we'll definitely come back and answer those for you as well. But 100%. For now, that's it for the Heckler.